I think the first time we met was at a game, right?
Yes, I can't remember what game, but I think, oh, it was, I think, Toronto game.
Oh, it was the Toronto, yeah, it was
I
the
think
Toronto game.
We came back by 28 points.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, we had a 28-0 run.
Yeah, I remember that because it's the only game I've ever taken my son Quinn to that the Knicks won.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that was a momentous experience for, I mean, he's 13 years old, and we've lived in New York. I'm from New York, I grew up in New York. Then I moved to LA, and I lived in LA for about 20 years, and moved back to New York about 8 or 9 years ago.
Okay.
So I started taking him to games probably about 6 years ago, and the luck of the draw and just the percentages whenever we come to games, he never saw a win.
Wow.
Yeah, so by last year, it was getting to the point where, you know, it's so exciting to go to the games and be able to, to see the players up close and, you know, get to say hi to some of them. And but, you know, for a 13-year-old kid at a certain point, if you're not winning, it starts to eat at your soul.
Oh, definitely.
You know?
Yeah, I think for me, at the Toronto game, I remember we were sitting on the bench, and so they were showing the celebrator row on a jumbotron, and I was just like looking at it, the celebrator rows, and then they showed you. Okay, I'm like, oh my gosh, Ben Stiller is in the game and watching me play. That made me really nervous.
Yeah, that's my least favorite thing in the world is to be on the jumbotron at Madison Square Garden.
It made me very nervous.
Well, it makes me even more nervous because they put you up and then you just don't want them to boo you. And if you go after Jerry Cooney, Jerry Cooney gets the hugest cheer.
Right.
Or a Yankee or a Giant.
Yep.
And then they see you and they're like, like a little,
No. It was a very loud cheer. I remember. And then I remember sitting down and asking my other teammates, like, hey, yeah, look who's in the game. I was like, look, Ben Stiller, and then everybody was like, whoa, that's crazy. Because like I played in Oklahoma City before, I played in Utah before.
So what kind of celebrities do you get in Oklahoma City? Who do you get? I mean, who's like a local?
Actually, nobody. The most famous, famous celebrity we got when Russell Westbrook didn't play when he was in a suit. That was like the celebrity we got. You know, Utah. Oh my God, like, nobody.
The management has asked Russell to sit for the game so that we can have a celebrity in the
there you
crowd.
go. That's a celebrity role for us.
Just to help us, yeah.
And now I came to New York.
Come on, there must have been one celebrity who showed up in Oklahoma.
I'm actually thinking.
What about like at the playoff? When you guys were in the playoffs, it must have been, right? People would come in for that.
Actually, nobody. I remember like when we go to play against Golden State, like Jay-Z came, Beyonce came in, but Oklahoma City, nobody.
Right.
Utah, nobody. Right. But sometimes actually.
Come on, in Utah there must have been like some famous Mormon celebrity.
Nobody. No, nobody. I remember nobody came, but sometimes actually still like when the celebrator goes up there, I stop watching the game. Not just me, like my teammates too, I'll be honest. We stop watching the game, we just like, okay, who came today? It's Ben Stiller there. You know, just this guy here, Chris Rock here, Jimmy Fallon here, and this guy, and it's like, this
explains the problem the Knicks have had for the last
it's for you.
25
you guys
years.
are the problem.
Yeah, see, if we were in Oklahoma City, that players would be concentrating on the game.
But I think for me, it's just like so, you feel so lucky that's like, man, you know, just all this, you know, like, you know, stars and Hollywood stars.
So it kind of gets you amped up and like,
Definitely. I remember it was before the game, and when you messaged me on Twitter.
Right.
And I just looked at it. It was like, Ben Stiller's following me. I'm like, is this real? Is this a real life? And then I saw it follows you. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is incredible.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what should I say? I need to message him something. And then I messaged you, I rember. And then you messaged me.
I have to tell you something. I'm not on Twitter.
Oh.
So this was a phony person. I don't know what. I'm sorry. No.
It's okay. I was like, I got nervous. I'm like, oh no. And,
What is Twitter? No. I remember having the same feeling because like you followed me, I followed you.
No, I'm like, and then I messaged me back. I'm like, I forgot about the game. I'm like, oh my God, Ben Stiller messaged me. This made my whole day. I don't care about the game anymore. You know what I mean?
If I had known that, I would not have done that. Me. Yeah. I mean, my God.
And then I remember my teammates got so excited. Not just me, my teammates were like, oh my gosh, you have to tell him you need to go meet him, please, please, please. I remember. And then like right now, we just had a practice today, and I came here. And then I told my teammates, hey, I'm going to do a show with Ben Stiller. Everybody was going crazy. Oh my gosh, please, please, this is crazy. How? And it just, I understand we are Knicks players, whatever, but when you see a celebrator like this, you're like, oh my gosh, this is
Well, that's
awesome.
how we feel as fans. That's how I feel as a fan when I get to see you guys play. Was Oklahoma City better than Utah in terms of just like the living
The
experience?
fan base, Oklahoma City was one of the best, but the city-wise, I think the Utah was a little better.
Yeah. Oh, really? Just the actual
I mean,
city
it's just
itself.
like the views, the mountains, the
Right.
people were really nice, and
Did you ski?
actually, we're not allowed to ski.
You're not allowed to ski.
It's in our contract that we cannot ski.
What other things can't you do in your contract?
No motorcycling. I used to.
Did you ever ride a motorcycle?
Never, never. I used to actually wrestle in alligators. They said no more. Yep. I went to Gatorland in Orlando, and I got on a I
actually
really did that. Yep.
For to make money or just
No,
for
just
fun?
to have fun.
Really?
Yes, I used to get on alligators and just try to wrestle them, but their mouth was taped though.
Oh,
Their
well,
mouth
then
was
that makes it
taped.
fine.
Yeah.
That's really interesting to me that you actually have wrestled alligators. I just find that.
I'm an animal lover. That's what
Yeah.
I call it.
Well,
It's a little weird
you
animal,
express your love by wrestling. I mean,
Definitely.
you're also interested in wrestling too, right?
but oh yeah, I actually.
You're
am.
like a huge WWE fan.
I
right?
actually, people laugh at this a lot. I mean, it's okay, you guys laugh too, but I actually want to become a wrestler, the fake wrestler, not the real wrestler,
Right.
after my basketball career.
Right, as a fake, like, what is
WWE.
what's a real wrestler?
Like UFC, MMA, I'm not talking about that.
Oh yeah, that's like mixed martial, right?
that's too
That's
much.
right.
Yeah,
that's
that's
not
too
wrestling
much.
though. That's actual
Yeah.
like, fighting, right?
But,
fake wrestling. See, I think though you shouldn't start out by saying I want to be a fake wrestler. The
That's-
wrestling people probably wouldn't.
I know they
appreciate
will hate that, right?
Yeah,
That's true.
because
That's like-
they kind of say that it's like a real thing, right?
So I'm actually talking to people already. I've been going to the games a lot, and because it's like
Right.
people, is talking trash. It's all about fake, nothing real. It's about the show. I just love it.
But there is real, like there's actual wrestling happening. It's just not. It's all sort of like choreographed.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
You like the Undertaker, right?
That's my favorite.
That's your guy. Because
That's
I've seen
definitely
you've
my
like
favorite.
tweeted out
Yes,
pictures
yes,
of you and the
yes.
Undertaker.
I actually met him when they came to Madison Square Garden. I think it was his last match at Madison Square Garden. I get to meet him.
Yeah.
And he actually rolled. I was taking a selfie. He rolled his eyes for me. It was like my knees were shaking.
Is that his trademark? Did he roll his eyes?
Oh yeah, he rolls his eyes and he only can see the white part. It was amazing.
Wow.
It was because I've been watching.
He does that while he's wrestling, or like when does a takedown or something.
No, when he's doing his entrance, he rolls his eyes, and then I've been watching him since college.
Right.
Since
Right. So like it's like a
8-9 years.
like a hero.
First time I met him, he was definitely amazing.
Yeah. That's it. That image was interesting to me. You said like he rolled his eyes, your knees were shaking. It's just like.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
And he's like,
It's a
how
little
tall
weird.
is he? He's a big
He's
guy.
actually like 6'10", I think.
He's
if you
6'10".
play basketball,
And what are you?
in
You're
a-
6'11".
I'm 6'11".
Right.
He actually played basketball in college, and I told him I want to be a wrestler when I'm done with my career. He said, "How old are you?" I said, "I'm 26." He said, "I got boots older than you." I'm like, "Okay." Then you can tell that you're old.
But
he's
it's,
good.
you know what? You are old when you have boots older than you. I've had these sneakers for about 5 years. So
Okay, it's
I'm
not
doing
bad.
okay.
That's not bad.
But you were also interested in football, soccer, right? When you were
Soccer,
younger, right?
I actually try to be a soccer player.
Yeah.
And actually, like a lot of people ask me, like, how can you be on a post-up like this good with footwork? I said it came from soccer.
Right,
Because I
right.
played soccer growing up a lot. It's a lot to do with footwork.
Right.
So like right now, when I'm on a post, it's like playing soccer, just a footwork game.
Oh, really?
And then I feel so much comfortable on a post-up because my footwork comes from soccer.
You know, that's one of the, I think, one of the great things about living in New York is the Knick experience.
People say you cannot be a real New Yorker if you're not a Knicks fan. So when did you become a Knicks fan?
So I grew up in New York.
Okay.
And my father would take me to Knicks games when I was probably like 8, 9 years old.
Ooh, long
So long time ago, around 72, 73.
Ooh, okay.
So I remember when the Knicks actually won a championship. And
Wow.
I remember coming to the games. There's a fan named Freddie Klein, who was a long-time season ticket holder, who was a friend of my dad's, and he would take us down to underneath the basket, and we'd get to say hi to the players. And I remember saying hi to Phil Jackson when he was a player, and seeing Willis Reed and DeBusschere and all those guys. And so it was that was like, for Knicks fans, that's the golden era. That was the time we actually, we actually won. And then I moved away from New York, and when I was living in Los Angeles, so I sort of was a fan from a distance, but I really kind of disconnected for a while. So I missed the whole, I missed the late 90s and the 99 run. But then I came back to New York, and that's one of I think one of the great things about living in New York is the Knicks experience.
Definitely.
And it has become a thing now, though, where it's like, and it's not like I'm saying this to you as a Knick, but you're a new Knick. But there's sort of that thing, like for the Cubs for years where they never won, or it's like almost getting to that point now where it's been so long. But I have that memory deep in my, in my DNA of back in the early days when we actually won. I was a huge Bernard King fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The legend,
when I was,
definitely.
I was in high school and right out of high school, and I remember seeing him have a 50-point game at the Garden, and that being incredible. And
his book came out last year, I think.
Yeah.
The book came out last year. It was very good.
Yeah.
And, people say you cannot be a real New Yorker if you're not a Knicks fan.
How are your handles?
Getting there.
Yeah.
I am a big man. I play center.
You don't put it down too often, I don't see, right?
I try, but now because the NBA changed a lot,
Right.
it's just a whole different game now. It's not about back-to-basket players. It's not like Shaq back-to-basket players anymore.
Right.
Just like the league changed so much.
Are you a Shaq fan?
I was growing up as a Shaq fan.
Yeah.
Shaq fan, yeah.
Yeah.
Kobe and Shaq.
I met Shaq
Lakers.
once, and he held out his arms to me, and hugged me, and my face just was buried in his belly button.
You might be like
He's
the
so
biggest
big.
dude I ever seen.
Yeah.
The largest dude.
Yeah. But the game has definitely changed a lot. You said you were working on your three-point shot this summer, too,
I
right?
actually did, yeah. Actually, Coach Fizdale wanted me to take some threes.
Right.
And I'm like...
So how do you feel about that now?
I actually feel really comfortable because...
You think you might go for it?
Well, if the coach wants you to say, hey, I want you to shoot the threes, and if he gives you that confidence, you feel so much comfortable out there.
Right. But it doesn't probably feel great when you miss the three at the Garden, right?
No, because, it's
Because the
Garden.
fans of the Garden, they're
the
amazing, but if you miss a couple shots, they can be, it's a little
Oh,
rough,
yeah.
right?
I remember from last year, you miss a couple shots, you get down by the 15, 20.
Yes. There's a certain
get
point
booing.
when it just turns.
It gets ugly. I know.
I feel like you give a lot of rope, and then at a certain point, it's just like, all right, come on, guys.
It's up and down. It's like a roller coaster. But,
Yeah.
I think the only thing they want is go out there, do your hardest, but give yourself 100%
Yes.
and just play hard every position.
Yeah.
Not every game, every position.
Yes, and Knicks fans are so starved for winning in any form that I feel like they'll just take a little bit, just a little bit. If there's like a few win streaks, I mean, God forbid we should get to the first round of the playoffs.
Ooh.
I mean, people would
That's my dream.
But
definitely
but I mean, it's just I think we're just looking for a little bit of, just momentum.
Yeah.
I think we're excited now.
Oh, yeah,
with
definitely.
the new
the youngest
new
team
regime.
in NBA.
Yeah, the youngest team. So it's all
that's
just
a
like
lot, yeah.
run and gun, right?
Definitely. I mean, he was undrafted, and then he was, he was playing in the G League.
Right.
Now he came here, and he's killing it now.
For people who aren't NBA players, is that there's that mystique around, you realize how hard it is. I used to think it was just the coolest thing in the world. And then as I've watched the NBA over the years, I just think it's so hard to get to your level, and you have to do it at such a young age.
Oh,
and you have you have this window of time.
19 to, if you take care of your body, 35.
Right, if you take it
If
right.
you take care, I think average NBA players now is only 3 or 4 years.
Right.
And then you're done. You're
Right,
either
at 3 or
out of
4
the-
years for the average player, if you're right.
You're out of the league, or you are going to Europe, or you quit basketball. I just learned, one of my teammates told me a week ago, it's average NBA players years is 3, 4 years.
Right.
3 years.
Right. So so there's always that sort of the pressure of
Definitely. Oh,
and you have to make the team every year. But I mean, guys like you who are at your level, you're like a centerpiece of
Yeah.
the team. But for those guys who come in and are trying to make the team, I'd
yep.
imagine that's really, really
Very stressful.
yeah.
Very
it's
stressful because you saw some people who need to take care of their family, their people,
Yeah.
their families and
Sure,
stuff. It's
right. And also just the level, like what the difference is between a G League player. There used to be a D League player, now changed letters.
G League, yep.
What the difference between a D League and a G League player is, I'm curious too. But just the G League player and then the the NBA level, right? I mean,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
is it that much? Is it that much?
Well, I think that there's a lot of really good players like Alonso.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was undrafted, and
Right.
then he was, just he was playing in the G League.
Right.
Now he came here now, and he's killing it now.
Do you think it's more pressure on a guy who's a draft pick?
Yes,
Like
definitely.
Kevin Knox
Yeah.
comes in, right? Because then there's expectation. You were a
Because-
number 3 draft
Yes,
pick, right?
it was so much pressure on me because if I was first round, third pick, so now the whole state, everybody was expecting that you just come in and become a superstar. My favorite movie of yours, I got two. I got two favorites.
Okay,
One
don't,
is
don't say Waterboy.
okay. I'm gonna say that.
For people who aren't NBA players, is that there's that mystique around, you realize how hard it is. I used to think it was just like the coolest thing in the world. And then as I've watched the NBA over the years, I just think it's so hard to get to your level, and you have to do it at such a young age.
Oh,
and you have such,
definitely.
right? You have this window of time.
Like 19 to, if you take care of your body, 35.
Right. If you take it,
If
right.
you take care, I think average NBA players now is only 3 or 4 years.
Right.
And then you're done. You're
Right.
either
That
out
3 or
of
4
the-
years for the average player, if you're
Yep.
right.
You're out of the league, or you are going to Europe, or you quit basketball. I just learned, like, one of my teammates told me, like, a week ago, his average NBA player's years is like 3, 4 years.
Right.
3 years.
Right. So yeah, so there's always that sort of the pressure of,
Definitely. Oh,
and you have to make the team every year. But I mean, guys like you who are at your level, you're like a centerpiece
Yeah.
of the team. But for those guys who come in and are trying to make the team, I'd
yep.
imagine that's really, really
very stressful.
yeah.
Very
it's
stressful because you saw some people who need to take care of their family, their people,
Yeah.
their families and
Sure,
stuff. It's
right. And also just the level, like what the difference is between a G League player. There used to be a D League player, now changed letters.
G League, yep.
What the difference between a D League and a G League player is, I'm curious too. But just the G League player and then the the NBA level, right? I mean,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
is it that much? Is it that much?
Well, I think that there's a lot of really good players like Alonso.
yeah.
So, I mean, he was undrafted, and
Right.
then he was, just he was playing in the G League.
Right.
Now he came here now, and he's killing it now.
Do you think it's more pressure on a guy who's a draft pick?
Yes,
Like
definitely.
Kevin Knox
Yeah.
comes in, right? Because then there's expectation. You were a
Because-
number 3 draft
Yes,
pick, right?
it was so much pressure on me because if I was first round, third pick, so now the whole state, everybody was expecting that you just come in and become a superstar. My favorite movie of yours, I got two. I got two favorites.
Okay,
One
don't,
is
don't say Waterboy.
okay. I'm gonna say that. So my favorite movie of yours, I got two. I got two favorites.
Okay,
One
don't,
is
don't say Waterboy.
okay. I'm gonna say that. Okay, one of course is Zoolander. Of course, you
I am
cannot
at that,
beat that
okay.
one. And then the second, actually, I watched it like 4 or 5 days ago. Meet the Parents.
Ah, yes.
Meet the Parents.
Yes. There's an interesting bit of Nick trivia in Meet the Parents. I was telling you about Al Troutwig, who is the venerable Knicks post-game and pre-game host, and Garden, he's just our garden guy. We actually filmed Meet the Parents in his indoor swimming pool
Oh
in
wow.
Long Island.
Okay.
Yeah, the location was his
So
house.
it was so funny with the front office, with the Nick. So when we learned that you were gonna come to the show, we just right away we just open up the laptop and click that movie, and then we were watching the line when you say, I got nipples, can you milk me? How often do you hear that quote? I got nipples, can you milk me?
That's funny because I heard a quote that you said
Oh my God.
about going to the playoffs that it made your nipples hard.
That's a different story.
It's interesting to me that how you relate to the word nipple.
I know, right? Something about those nipples, man.
And then I saw that tweet the other day when you had your shirt on,
Right,
Dan,
right,
saying,
right.
I'm not going to say my nipples got hard, but no.
Yes. Oh, that was that actually maybe the funniest. I actually watched it like 4 or 5 days ago.
Really?
You know,
Yeah.
I was at home, you know,
Yeah.
we just clicked it and started watching, and it was definitely
Yeah.
still one of the
It was,
favorite
that was,
of all
yeah,
time.
that was a fun movie. We shot the movie in New York. It's a very New York.
Okay.
It was a very New York experience, and you know.
I just want to say thanks a lot. You know, thanks for coming. This made my whole day and week. And
Thanks, man. I
cannot even imagine.
I feel the same way. It's fun to hang out with you. And I had fun when we went to see Hamilton together.
Actually, let me talk about this
Yeah, I
first.
should talk about that for a second because that was fun.
Yes,
that
it was
really fun.
it was amazing. You know, because we had a lunch together, and I told him that I never went to Broadway show before. And he was like, "You've been to New York this long and you never went to Broadway show?" I said, "Nope, never been to." And then he actually took me to Broadway show. And it was one of the best experience I had. You know, I sit down, the chairs was little,
Yeah.
it was like economy seats.
Yeah.
You know, I had to sit down like this for 3 hours,
Right.
but you know, it was worth it.
For you, it was the best experience you ever had. For
Oh
the
my
person sitting
God.
behind you, it was the worst experience.
It was the worst experience, that's true.
But and we went with my kids. And
Yes, he's actually.
we had so much fun.
Yes, his actually daughter went to. It was her 7th time. I asked her like,
Yeah.
so how many times you been to? No, she said that's my 7th
Yes,
time.
she's
The
a
same show.
Big musical theater fan.
I was like, okay, this must be good then.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very excited. You know.
Yeah.
And
It was
an
fun to
amazing
watch
experience.
the show and like kind of check in with you and see
Yeah.
you know your reaction.
And I was trying to get the language, and then they were like talking really clear. I understand
Right.
almost everything. It was a very awesome experience.
Cool. No, that was really fun.
Yes.
Really fun.
Well, again, we'd like to thank you, me, my teammates, the whole organization, and of course, MSG Network. Want to thank you. It's been an honor, definitely. And we have a little gift for you. If you accept it, it'll be an honor. It's just right behind me. And they forgot to take the tag out. You know?
Yeah.
It is an unsigned Kanter jersey, I guess. Yep.
Wow.
I'll sign it for you later. Oh, I signed it.
I love it.
When did I
Thank
sign
you for
this?
signing it for me.
I don't even remember signing this. I'm sorry.
It must have been, you were so excited that you were going to
Yes.
give it to me, I think.
There
that
you go.
Oh, wow. That is awesome, man. Thank you. And
Yes.
all I would ask in return is that you bring us a championship this year. Is that cool?
That's a promise.
Yeah? All right,
That's a
man.
definite promise. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate
All
it.
right. This is great. Thank you.